What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Six Man Podcast. I'm your host, Phil Dunn. On today's episode, I have Bryce Falk on the podcast. Bryce played at Centenary University in New Jersey for college. He scored 1,000 points at Walk Hill High School in New Jersey before that. Friend of mine, so excited to have him on the pod. Before we get into the interview with Bryce, just wanted to remind everybody if you could please follow on social media, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, at the Six Man Podcast. That would be greatly appreciated. Let's get to the interview with Bryce. All right, I'm here with Bryce Falk. Bryce, thanks for coming on the pod. What's going on, man?
Absolutely. Doing good, man. How are you?
Great. I'm excited for this. So a little bit of background. Me and Bryce used to work together, where we became friends, bonded over basketball and stuff. So excited to have somebody that I'm like good friends with on the podcast. So first question I want to ask you is just talk a little bit about like your beginnings in basketball. Like what age did you start playing? Who first put the ball in your hands? How did you get started?
Yeah, so I started pretty much second grade, started playing like organized basketball, playing up with third graders on the 8 foot rims and everything like that. But
Yeah,
definitely my
yeah.
dad from the beginning was the person who put the ball in my hands and kind of got me into it for sure.
Did your dad play growing up?
Yeah. Yeah, he played through high school.
Is he from like the same area as you? Or no,
He's
he's from
no,
like
he's
Rochester, right?
from yeah, my dad's from upstate New York in Rochester, yeah. He went to a Catholic high
Okay,
school, played there.
okay. So obviously you have two younger brothers, so I assume like all you guys like grew up playing together and stuff, and you being the oldest probably like beat up on them all the time.
Yeah, and I had an older sister, so like kind of I was always like going to her games and stuff even before like when I first started playing. So we were from a young age kind of always in a basketball gym, especially Dan. Like Dan being the youngest, he was kind of dragged to probably 1 billion games over the years. I'm sure.
What was your experience like playing youth basketball? Like, did you play AAU, CYO, rec, all that type of stuff?
Yeah, pretty much started off playing rec. Would play in the team up too, so played that all the way through 8th grade pretty much. But started playing AAU in 6th grade. Played that all the way through high school, obviously, and then by the time we hit like 6th grade, the rec league wasn't really too challenging for us. So my dad, we built like a travel team. We started playing 7th to 8th grade, like locally. It's called like Lakeland. It was a fun league, a bunch of different, like 18 different teams or whatever, but definitely got us more ready for high school basketball and everything, playing better competition.
Was like the guys that you were playing with in like rec and AAU as a kid, were those like the same guys that you like played with through high school and varsity?
Definitely a few overmixed for sure. As far as AU goes, yeah, definitely. Got close with a bunch of those guys that you'd end up playing in the regular season and everything. Um, Travel wise too, you'd see those kids kind of down the road. So it's pretty cool that way to see everyone kind of grow up as a player, as a person. It's like if you're close with them and whatnot.
Yeah. So then you get to high school. Obviously, you played at Walk Hill High School in Jersey. Talk a little bit about your experience playing in high school. Obviously, like super successful career, scoring 1,000 points and everything. Like, what was your high school experience like?
Yeah, so high school, I was really small going into high school, so that was a bit of I guess, a challenge early on. So like as a freshman, I started out. I didn't play freshman, so I went straight up to JV and varsity. That year didn't get like any time varsity other than just kind of spot minutes at the end of the game and everything like that. But then by the time I was a sophomore, I was starting. So I started for 3 years. Had a kid who he started as a freshman too. We started together for 3 years, so it was always fun playing. His name was Matt. Always fun playing with Matt. So we built a good chemistry out there for sure throughout those 3 years because we played on travel together as well. So we were playing for like 6 years in a row, basically.
Um, so obviously you scored 1,000 points. Wasn't your 1,000 point like on a free throw?
Yeah,
Like, didn't you
and
end with exactly 1,000 points?
exactly 1K. Yeah, it was pretty crazy the way it worked out.
Was it like nerve wracking going into like those last few games as a senior? Like, damn, like
I
I got to get
mean,
to 1,000.
kinda. I mean, I had a horrible game in the mix of there too. I had a game with like 2 points or something like that, so that definitely made it a little more stressful than it needed to be. But I
Yeah,
mean, looking back, the free throw probably I'd feel more pressure now than I did back then if I was in the same shoes again for sure.
there's probably I feel like I would be like nervous in that, or maybe not nervous, but like just know what's happening in the moment. Like as you're shooting, you
Yeah.
had to, right? Like as you're
hmm
shooting, you're at 999.
Yeah.
Didn't you have like a crazy game in high school too? Like the most points in a game for your high school?
So yeah, well, it was 1 point short. So it was I'm trying to remember. It was pretty early in the season. It was against North Warren. We played them at home. A team we played playing twice a year, so pretty familiar. Played those same kids um like 2 times a year for 3 straight years. So actually, one of the kids in North Warren, Nate, was one of my AU teammates. So that was always fun playing against him as well. But yeah, just one of those games had it going. They're one of the few teams that that year played us man to man. Really, we saw a lot of zone and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of those games where everything kind of was dropping. It
How
was
many
fun.
points did you score?
41.
Damn. Hey, that's nuts. In a 32-minute game, that's nuts.
Yeah, yeah. We got in the bonus in both halves early, so that I think it was only 7 free throws, but still, that helped definitely getting in the bonus early. The
Yeah.
refs were calling fouls that day.
I try to ask everybody that played high school basketball in Jersey. So what do you think of like having no shot clock? And do you think that should change, or did you notice anything with that?
Yeah, I definitely think that should change. I think at the end of games, if you're chasing, if teams don't miss free throws, you're kind of done. Honestly, they can just
Yeah.
hold the ball on you. I also think it makes for worse basketball. I think and getting people ready to play in college. But yeah, I don't like the no shot clock rule. I think even if it was 35 seconds, I think they need to put one in for sure. Because some
Yeah.
teams did go up forward, just hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball. I don't think that really is. I don't think that's even good strategy. They're just kind of stupid.
Yeah. Um, so what was like your recruitment like coming out of high school? Like, did you have options to play in college, and like what made you choose to go to Sussex Community College for a year?
So yeah, I mean, it was mostly me sending tape to coaches, talking to coaches, trying to do all that. I had some interest from some places, but I actually did end up going to Muhlenberg my first semester at college. So I talked with the coach. I was gonna play. They changed coaches. I was out there for a semester. Didn't really love it there anyway, so I came home. Was at Sussex, but I had to wait because you if you weren't didn't take a class there in the fall, you couldn't play in the spring. It was some weird, I don't know the
Yeah, yeah.
legit rule, but I couldn't play that freshman year returning.
So what was your? So did you play at all at Sussex
So I did. I did play my
the
sophomore year
next
of
year?
college. I played, yeah.
Okay. So what was that year like?
So that year
And like,
was interesting, I'd say. I mean, it was kind of tough. I mean, we won maybe 2 games that year. Weren't very good. Um, I don't think I got on with the coach the best, like starting off and everything. Um, so it was definitely a uphill battle like that, kind of transferring into a new thing and kind of trying to see how everyone plays, trying to find your way on the team and then maximize your opportunities.
yeah.
But definitely was a interesting long season. Bunch of adversity and stuff like that. The road games were long bus rides back, all that stuff.
What was like the biggest difference you saw between playing high school basketball and then playing JUCO basketball?
Just say the speed. I mean, I think that's almost any level I've jumped up to. I think once you get comfortable in the speed and you're comfortable in your game, I think you're fine. I think that definitely can, if you get sped up though, that you start turning it over, you start missing
Yeah.
shots, stuff like that. But I think that mostly just every level of basketball, just the speed gets better, the players get better, especially defensively.
Do you think that like the long bus rides and like facing adversity and stuff, do you think that that helped like better prepare you for when you got to Division 3?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say a lot. I don't know how much of that factored in, to
Yeah.
be honest. I mean, I felt like I was ready out of high school to play D3, like at a small D3 school and try to compete for minutes and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I kind of always thought more of it, for me, was like putting in the work myself to be confident in the moments. But hitting adversity, like definitely like seeing a different speed and hitting adversity. I think that it always helps. Like anything in life, like not everything's gonna be perfect. So
So coming out of community college, what made you choose to go to Centenary? And did you have like any other options, or are there any other places you were looking before you decided to choose Centenary?
well, I wasn't honestly completely sure I was gonna keep playing. So I was looking at like I applied to Clemson, I applied to Rucker. I was gonna maybe go the big school route and kind of
Yeah.
just have fun. But yeah, Centenary, I visited there. All the guys seemed cool. I was like, then I kind of thought I really do want to keep playing. So that was basically the decision there. There really wasn't another. I don't. really even know if there was another option for me playing wise, at least that I was confident in that they liked me.
Yeah. What was your experience like at Centenary? Like how was it playing Division III basketball and like continuing to go through the grind? Because
Yeah,
I'm sure
it was.
like it's hard to give it up. Like once you like used to it, like you said, like you're playing your whole life since you were a kid, playing AAU, playing all year round. So like to be back in the grind of it, like what was that like?
It was definitely a good time. I enjoyed it a lot. Like and like, transferring in, I'd say that first year was kind of it was still a lot of fun, like learn everything, but more of like trying to find how you can like impact the team in a way. It's tough trying to get up because they had a lot of return players. So getting on the court was a bit of a difficulty, like in terms of figuring out where I could fit in and where I could help the team because they had a very good end of the season year before, so they kind of brought back a lot of players. But yeah, like just my experience playing there, like there's some of my closest friends like to this day, like small school like that. We'd hang out all day, like
Yeah.
go in the apartments, chill, play video games, whatever. So like that part of it was especially great. Just having brothers really for life.
How did you manage like being in college, and like managing classes and like social stuff and like also on top of basketball? Like was it like
hmm
super stressful at all, or like is there any moments where it's like, damn, this is a lot
Yeah,
different than high school?
definitely. Yeah, definitely class wise at times. I mean, I felt like in college the professors could make it as hard as they want, or it could kind of be as easy as they want too. So
Yeah,
depending on the professor, it definitely changed. But yeah, I would say just staying on top of my work. I actually did a better job of that when it was in person than online. I kind of got more lazy with it, to be honest with you. But yeah, then socially too. Like I mean, we'd go out and stuff. During season, kind of got tough because like Friday was kind of the night to go do fun stuff there. It's like
yeah.
Saturday games, we really couldn't do much for most of the season, depending on how our schedule broke out. But I mean, it is what it is.
Were you a junior when COVID hit?
So yeah, so that was my first year there. COVID hit in the spring. Then we came back that next year in the fall. We were in person, but basketball season was still up in the air. They let us like start practicing pretty early, but it's like 3 days a week in masks. It was all the COVID stuff.
Yeah,
Um, so I stayed there. We were going home Thanksgiving anyways that year because just with COVID stuff. I actually ended up testing positive right after Halloween weekend, and so I just quarantined at home. I never went back that semester. And then I'm trying to remember the exact date, but then we figured out our season was canceled pretty shortly after. So I didn't end up going back in the spring. Um, but then I got my bachelor degree that spring of May of 2021. Um, then decided to go do my master's. So I came back then I had the extra year, so I came back and for the next year to play.
so your brother Sean ends up transferring to Centenary as well while you're there. So did you guys got to play a year together, right?
Yeah, so we got a year in high school and a year in college, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome. What was it like playing with Sean, both in high school and then also having the opportunity to do it in college?
Yeah, so in high school it was definitely pretty cool because he came in as so we're 2 years apart basically, but he was a little like old first class, so he was a freshman when I was a senior. So he came in, um, started as a freshman, which is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah,
Played well too. So it was definitely fun sharing the court with him for my last year. We had good chemistry out there and everything like that. And then just from there, kind of seeing him kind of take the ball and run with it from like going back and watching games in his sophomore, and you just get better every single year.
yeah,
College wise, yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's kind of funny we were competing for minutes and stuff like that, but yeah, just like being on the court, um, like being there with him, like hanging out with him. We're like best friends, so
yeah,
me and both my brothers are like best friends. So like, yeah, it was definitely cool. Like looking back on it, it's really cool. In the moment, I don't know if you appreciate it, like how kind of cool it is in the moment. I probably
yeah.
didn't, to be honest with you. I didn't like probably relish it as much as I could have, but definitely something cool to say. Not many people that can definitely say that. So
So isn't Sean the all time leading scorer at your high school at Walkill?
no, he's Second on the men's side. I don't
Okay,
know. I don't know about the total, but yeah, he finished with 15 and change. I don't remember. I think he
damn,
scored like 17 something.
damn. Did he ever give you anything about like passing you all the
No, not really. I
time?
actually was pissed. I couldn't even go to his game. He scored his thousands because I was
Really?
playing at Sussex at the time. We had a game like far away or something. I didn't get to go see him do it, but
So then you did a GA year at Centenary. Talk about like how that opportunity came about.
yeah. So there was something I kind of talked about before I decided to do the masters with my coach at the time. Um, because part of that was getting classes paid for because it was not cheap, obviously.
Yeah,
So I was I actually was debating with the idea of not coming back at all, even though I didn't even really get a last year to play. But I decided I kind of I want to play. And at the time, I thought coaching was possibly something I really wanted to get into, like seriously for a career maybe.
yeah,
But so yeah, I talked to my coach about it. So I was all kind of locked up after that year going into the next year. So, but yeah, just doing that was definitely a good experience. Like you'd you'd site manage some games, some other sports games and stuff like that, just making sure everyone's not getting crazy. And I mean, pretty
yeah,
easy. But in terms of like the coaching aspect for basketball, it was pretty cool. Like from time to time, I definitely get some like individual training with the kids and and most, I mean, almost all of them played with me. So that part was definitely interesting too. Like just like trying to balance that like friendship slash coach thing.
yeah.
But I think most of them respected me, like knew I was there for the right reasons for them and everything like that.
Did you have
Um,
any eligibility left at that time, and like you had to choose between GA and player?
I guess technically I did. And thinking back on it, I didn't even think about that at the time, but I guess
Yeah.
technically I did. Yeah,
So while you're doing your GA year, that's when Dan got there, right?
yeah. Dan would have been a freshman that year. Yep.
So was that because Dan's a little bit young, so you didn't get to play with Dan in high school, obviously,
No,
right?
so Dan is 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
So, I never got to see Dan play. But even like going back to watch Sean play, going back to watch him play with this kid Chris Ross. So I was like, I'd go back and play pickup with them at
Yeah,
the high
yeah,
school and shit like that. So it was cool seeing them. And they made a deep run in the Tri County tournament over here. So that was pretty cool to watch. They actually played the final it was it was at my first year playing. It would have been 2020? Jeez, I'm trying to blank in the year. Would have been 2022. So it was like my first year in the master's program. I played that year though. They played the final at Centenary, so that was pretty cool.
that's awesome.
They lost to Hackettstown in like the last second. It was a good game, but they lost it at the end. But that was always like going back to watch like them kind of take the torch and run with it was very cool for me.
What was it like being a centenary, like you as a GA, and then having both your brothers on the team? Like that's something that's like super rare, and I'm sure it was like. But you kind of said it before, like you probably didn't appreciate it in the moment, but like this is the first time that all three of you were
I think
together.
that I appreciated a little more since I was a like still coaching, but a step removed from it in terms of
Yeah,
like locking in on playing, you know what I mean, playing every single
yeah,
day. So I think I appreciated that part a little more. Um, but yeah, I also wasn't living on campus at the time, so it definitely was like I think I would have thought of it a little differently if all three of us were on campus at the same time. So I was living at home commuting there.
yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely very cool to have that opportunity to be around both my brothers playing at a collegiate level, which is pretty rare, I would say.
So you mentioned that like at one point you had thought about like coaching as a career. So after you finished the GA year, did you like pursue anything else in coaching? Um or like what happened after the GA year?
Yeah, so I was just kind of looking for a full-time job, applying to different stuff. I ended up coming back the next year to help out my buddy Chris, who's now the head coach of Centenary, because I was applying for jobs, didn't find anything that I really liked at the time, so I went back there for a little bit, helped him out for a couple months. But I just like I liked coaching, but I think I realized it was like if it's a full time, that's a big commitment, like full
Yeah.
time career thing, and you got to get super lucky, and it's not really a very affluent business, I guess I would say. Like
Yeah.
affluent job is definitely tough to make ends meet, and you got to get in the right spot. But I actually helped out at my high school last year, so that was definitely something like on the side after work. That was something more like kind of what I could see myself maybe doing in the future if I have like a flexible job and stuff, coaching high school. That's did it a little more for me.
Yeah, dude, like the coaching profession is absolute grind. Because, like you said, it's like
Yeah,
you got to get super lucky. You got to know somebody. You had to have been a former player for the most part. Um, but like also like it's so like reliant on who the head coach is. Like you get in somewhere as like the last assistant. Like if that guy gets fired, you're out. If he decides to take another job halfway across the country, like you don't know what's going to happen.
it's a
So not
pretty
very
ruthless game
secure.
for sure.
Yeah. So you talked about coaching high school. I know you also coached AAU.
Hmm.
So you said like that's something you would like to continue to do.
Yeah. As long as like right now I'm not doing AAU. It was too much with work right now, just time
Yeah.
wise and everything. But yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Like just seeing the kids get better, like skilling them up. Like a lot of like I coach my old AAU coach who was awesome. One of my favorite people, Cornell
Yeah.
Thomas. So like he's a great guy. He's all about the kids getting better, and not about like going to win meaningless tournaments and whatnot, like stuff
Yeah.
like that, but actually getting
Winning
the kids
t-shirt
ready to
stuff.
exactly win a stupid T-shirt.
Yeah.
But he's more about getting the kids like better, getting them better just as people too, like all that stuff. So I really, yeah, like I haven't I haven't been to any practices this year just with work and everything, but
Yeah.
I gotta stop in for one for sure.
So basketball is like obviously something you could like kind of do for like ever or like as long as your body holds up and like that's something that I think is like super special and cool about the
Hmm.
game. Like even when you're done like seriously playing or coaching or whatever it is and you don't take it as serious anymore, like you can still play pickup, you can still play in leagues and stuff. So talk a little bit about like not playing serious like as serious organized basketball anymore, but still continuing to play in leagues and stuff like that as you're, working a full time job and getting older and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's definitely tough playing back to back days. I'll say that more so than it ever was. But
Yeah.
yeah, like me and my brothers play in that Ungerman League in Sparta, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Charlie who runs it's a great guy. So, we've been playing that for like 4 years. It's good competitive runs. I mean it's refs too, so it's like I mean
Yeah.
they'll let you play, but they'll call obvious shit for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's super fun, super competitive. This year we actually did make the finals and lost. It was like a best of three. We lost games 1 and 2 by like 5 points each. But it kind of got me back into the competitive side of basketball. It's like itch that nerve a little bit, like getting back
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. Yeah, because you never lose a love for the game and everything like
No.
that. But don't like other than that, like I'll play pickup, but sad thing, I don't ever just go shoot really anymore, which maybe I'll start doing as I get older, but I haven't done that at all in forever.
That's sick that like the final is a 3 game series.
Yeah, it
That's
was pretty
awesome.
like it was a whole thing, like national anthem. They had
That's awesome.
like the local like high school like sports media thing. They came and taped the game, announced the game. It's pretty cool. Like the
That's dope.
guy, he's been doing like all the high school games since I was there. He remembered all our names. Like he's like the Sussex County like sports encyclopedia. He
Yeah,
knows everyone. But
that's
it
awesome.
was fun. It's funny too because we had all the kids on our team were from our little town Franklin. So it was like me, Sean, Dan, Chris Ross, this other kid Tony who played with Dan, and this kid Ivan who played with Dan as well. So it was a fun group to play with in that league for sure.
That's awesome. All right. So last question I have for you, same question I asked like all the guests I've had is the last question. If you could go back in time and give your younger self advice in terms of basketball, that could be like as a player, as a young coach, whatever it is. What would it be?
It's a good question. I would say be patient with yourself is one thing. Like don't you can't build Rome in a day, right? Like just
Yeah,
stay at it. Constant, consistent, like work's gonna show up. Like if it doesn't show up one day, just keep at it. Um, I would also say in terms of like playing wise, just realize that you can do more than just score the ball. Um, I wouldn't say just that's like just advice for me, but I'd say for anyone, like realize
yeah,
that there's different roles in the team that you could play. Like that was something in college I kind of found like you go play college, everyone was the best player in their high school team. Everyone scored blah, blah, blah amount of points in high school, you know? So you got to
Yeah.
find different ways to kind of get your like different sets of skills to help the
Yeah.
team out. Like, oh, you're gonna play hard defense, you're gonna rebound, find your niche kind of. So I would say those two are definitely something I would tell my younger self. And then just um yeah, just have continue to have fun with it. Don't ever let it like it can get intense, it can get serious, but don't ever forget that you were the kid shooting your driveway, trying to shoot game winners. Like that's how everyone who likes basketball grew up playing. So don't ever
Yeah.
forget that kid's still inside you.
I like that a lot. I like hearing what good basketball players have to say about, giving their younger selves advice, especially as a coach myself, like being able to pass that along to guys that I coach and stuff. But I really like what you said about that, especially like something I always preached is like being a star in your role.
I
Like
love that.
you don't always have to score the ball. Like if you
hmm
are trying to find your way to make an impact on the team, find a bigger role in the rotation, whatever it is, like be a star in your role, whatever it is that you're great at
Absolutely.
doing, be the best you can be at that, and then try to move up from there and then be the best at whatever it is the next step is.
I love that.
But anyway, thanks for coming on, Bryce. Great catching up with you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Great job, Phil.
Thanks again to Bryce for coming on the pod today. Thank you all for the continued support and listening to the pod. Again, if you could please follow on social media at the Six Man Podcast, like, rate, subscribe, follow all that stuff on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and again, all social media. We'll be back next week. Appreciate it.